I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We all received a copy of last month's minutes. Meeting. Are there any corrections? If not, is there a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
Yeah, properly, you can second it. All those in favor with their consent by saying aye.
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 The ayes have it. Okay?
Uh,
So you, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
So last Tuesday, on November 11th, we received in the office, a letter from Ivan Michael, our land planner. Due to a conflict of interest, he is going to receive himself from reviewing the Kovac Enterprise Incorporated Carbon North East Development, land development plan. With that being said, the county, we will need to have somebody else come in and engineer to review it. We would normally use the county engineer, so I'm going to request from the board a motion to amend the contract for professional services to hire Keystone Consultant Engineers to provide typical services for issues arising within the planning department. Keystone Consultant Engineers will be working with us at Great Hall.
The motion regarding this. Second. Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Next thing on this then too is we did receive the plans last Wednesday on November 12th. Given the size of the plan, it's 115 pages and how big it is. I consulted with Greg to get his opinion on this, and we think that it would be best if we table this to the next meeting, given Greg didn't have enough time to review it yet. After that, then, you know, you guys can come up on that, get ask Greg any kind of questions you have on this, or whatever. Either one, I can try to ask them for them.
Okay, is there a motion to table this on the next meeting?
I'll make that one.
Second.
A second.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
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 Ayes have it. There we go. Legally. So Dennis briefly on, was anybody else, or anybody else? No, I haven't heard that. There it is. Yeah. Okay, is Carolyn McGee present?
Yes, I'm here.
She said yeah. Did you hear? She said,
She did say yes?
yeah, she just said yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I think owner is Harold.
Harold Floodliner, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, fair to ask Greg any questions, we can probably don't have any concrete answers at this point.
You can ask everyone, I'll try to answer.
Do you have anything you'd like to offer?
Well,
That-
where I'm at is I just, picked the plans up last Thursday and have been, just starting to begin my review. One thing
don't have is a stormwater management report from the applicant's engineer, so I'm gonna have to track that down. There are 6 or 7 stormwater facilities on this project, so it's probably gonna be a pretty complex report, so I'm gonna have to delve into that certainly. Yeah, I basically just went through the whole plan set once and kind of made some general, real quick notes, but I haven't really thoroughly delved into anything yet.
Is a month's time not sufficient time?
I will have a review letter for next month's meeting. Yes.
Excuse me, folks, I have my volume up all the way. Can you all speak a little bit louder? Thank you.
Yes, I'm having the same problem.
I don't know how to follow up.
I don't know, it's using that mic.
Yeah, but you can hear me, Brandon, so here it comes. That's awesome. I wish that worked that way in life. Can we do volume?
I don't think so. But I'll check. Speaker, microphone. No, I understand everyone's speaking across the table, but some of us are across the satellites.
And over a mountain.
We're working on it, Dennis. Hold on one second. I agree. So this also very high.
Dennis, go ahead and talk real quick.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hold on, we can't hear that at all. There we go.
Isn't it better on our end at all?
It's better hearing you speak. Yes.
Same as you.
Just check one thing real quick and then it should be good.
Does it help with the laptop on the table, or is that not?
No, I got the speaker. It takes it from those right there, those ones that are green. That's your guys' microphones. Let's see if this one takes it. Any difference here, Dennis?
I mean, you sound fine.
Yes, you sound fine.
And Dennis, what I had said was I just started reviewing the plan and I will have a review letter for next month's meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Greg, you have a general overview of the scope of the project that you can talk, report on?
Well, sure. It's a data center complex really with 4 proposed buildings. Ultimately, the plan that was submitted only has 1 proposed building. So it's phase 1 of at least 4. But they are going to build all the infrastructure for the other phases. They're tying into the water system, they're tying into the sanitary sewer system. There are at least 6 or 7, I believe, stormwater management facilities on this plan. They're way over 1 acre of earth disturbance, so they're going to need an NPDES permit from the Conservation District. I don't believe that process has begun yet. So, tying into the sanitary sewer is going to require sewage planning exemption from DEP. Tying into the water system is going to require approval from the borough authority and the fire company for fire flow. There are, I think, around 4,000 feet of retaining walls on the project. That's one thing I noticed right away is, holy smokes, we're putting retaining walls. There's a long one in the back of the site. And we're gonna wanna see those designs in conjunction with the land development plan. Very often, those are deferred until construction activities, but in this case, a lot of the walls are adjacent to access drives and are gonna be subject to live loads. Or they're right adjacent to wetland areas, so that's all important. Will need to be designed and hashed out during the land development review process.
Oh,
That might
Greg.
be,
I'm sorry.
yes, sir.
Yeah, Greg, this is Dennis. Obviously, in all of our background research and review of these types of developments, there's three main issues. One is water usage. The other is electricity usage, and then noise. Is this the Nesquehoning water system, not the Lansford Coaldale joint water system?
Correct, Nesquehoning.
Nesquehoning.
Yep.
And do they have deep wells or do they have dams on the Broad?
I believe they have dams. From what I
Okay.
understand from the applicant is they're only gonna use about 3,000 gallons per day of water, which is ridiculously low. So we're gonna have to kind of scrutinize that and make sure that whatever approvals they get from the authority, that is an accurate number. We definitely want to be sure that we have capacity to serve the project.
So it's being proposed as a closed loop water system?
Closed loop, as I understand it, yes.
About 10
What a-
households.
What about electricity usage and where they tapping from?
I'm not exactly sure, but I thought there is a line that runs over the Broad into northern Carbon County and comes down close proximity to this site that they'll be tying into. I haven't really seen that on the plan yet, so we'll definitely need some concurrence from PPL that they can tie into the grid.
Are they
Yeah.
proposing, backup, power sources? Do we know yet?
They'll have generator. I
And-
think that's what I
and
heard.
Fueled, generator, do we know that detail?
Yeah, I don't
There's a
know.
public meeting tonight on it at 6 at the Nesquehoning Rec Center.
About a month ago, there was a public meeting from PPL
Yeah.
as well. And they're proposing a new feed from Tresco down to the Lake Hotto area that they said was supposed to run a line to this project.
Yeah, from what I understand, PPL is putting a line in, but they're charging Bitfarm to put it in. But they're paying for their portion of whatever they're.
That's part of the presentation.
Yeah.
They did say that, but.
Based on some reading in the subject generally that I've done, the loads, electrical loads on AI type project are not necessarily linear, constant. They've got a lot of peaks. And the tendency is that these can generate noise and harmonics on the rest of the power lines.
Yep.
I have read that there are some mitigations that they install inside the buildings to try to buffer this surge, for lack of a better word. And typically we don't see building plans, so I don't know.
Right.
What the situation is there, but that's something that's probably need to be looked at.
Carolyn, will the developer be at our next meeting?
Yes.
I believe they said they wanted to come to the one where we have the plan reviewed, right?
Yes.
so that you'll be able to ask a bunch of questions about anything that you have.
Greg, this is Dennis, if everyone can hear me.
Yes. Go ahead, Dennis.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, this is, if you could just kind of start at the beginning, this has been a bit farm, and now it's going to be a data center, or it's going to be a combination bit farm and data center. What is it going to be?
I can't answer that yet. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's no
Well-
existing buildings here.
Yeah, all the buildings are proposed. There's no existing buildings, but at least at the public meeting, I think they said they didn't have an occupant yet.
But they-
I don't know if that's changed or not.
At the public meeting, they did specify that this was going to be branching off into a different type of service where they wouldn't be producing Bitcoin using this project. They would be hosting compute resources that they would use for data center hosting for customers.
Yeah, it's two different companies,
Two different projects. It's
but the
different,
same owner.
but the same owner. Yes.
Yeah, Greg, and I'm sure you'll get into this, and I trust the borough will be very on top of it and astute at. I mean, I think the bottom line for local folks is, and as much as in this world you could get a guarantee that residents' water rates are not going to go up, or their electricity bills, because of this large development that I'm sure will be making a lot of money. So I think, and my concern is for the local residents that they could give promises, they could say it's going to be this or that, but you need all this in writing. You need guarantees. You need an understanding that down the road, the story is not going to change.
Agreed.
One last note on this. According to the municipal planning codes, Nescahoning, when Nescahoning submitted this on the 12th this month, they have to give us 30 days to review it, and then they're allowed to just go ahead with the plan without our comments. That 30 days will end up being November 12th, which is a Friday. Our meeting then is that Tuesday, and Nescahoning Borough Council meeting would be that Wednesday then. I don't think we're gonna have a problem with that. If we do, I did tell everybody that we would possibly call a special meeting if we had to, cause we don't wanna be the ones that hold the project up if for any reason, okay?
Yep.
Anybody else have any other questions, generalized or otherwise?
Again, my same question with what was just now stated, that time has really put a lot of pressure on you to do a complete review on a massive project. It's a major undertaking. There are many branches and leaves to this tree that need to be looked at. And the more we think about it, the more branches and leaves come out.
And all these things that we've mentioned here today, water, electric, noise, backup generators, those are all gonna be comments in my letter. Even if they're general comments for discussion. It didn't appear to me like there were items in the submittal that address those things. So there might be a general comment. Water needs to be approved by the borough authority and the fire company. And that's going to prompt them to submit additional information, which may prompt us to have 4 or 5 other comments regarding that. So, for example, the stormwater management I didn't get a stormwater management report yet. I'm gonna reach out to the engineer later this afternoon or tomorrow and try to obtain that, but so there'll be one comment relating to stormwater management, but when it comes in and I review it, that may prompt 10 or 15 other comments, so those the first set of review comments is not perhaps going to be there may be some general comments that would lead to a more future, more thorough review once information's provided.
Dave, could you revisit those dates and the timeline related to this, the meetings, et cetera? You mentioned, I think mistakenly, November,
Was December.
December, and what days and dates are relevant to this?
So we have till December 12th. That was the deadline till Metcalfe could say they don't need our comments.
Okay.
Our next meeting then is actually scheduled for the 15th. So again, the comment would need to be in by the 12th, which is a Friday. We have a meeting on the 16th. But then Nescahoning, I checked with them about when the borough meeting is in December. It's not till the 17th. So they wouldn't, unless they move up the council meeting date, they wouldn't be able to take action on it anyway till the 17th.
Yeah, but if we don't comply with their 30-day, can they just bypass us?
They could if they want
Because we
to.
missed the 30-day.
They could if they want to.
Is there any way of,
But if you guys want to have a special meeting, we could always do something like that.
my concern is they'll go around the corner and say, well, you missed your 30 days on 32.
Right.
Sorry, we won't listen to you.
Up to you guys if you want to have a special meeting.
Yeah,
Have a special meeting.
yeah, even if,
Make them-
not all in person, Zoom or some combination thereof.
Yeah.
As long as Greg can generate enough information for us to make some conclusions.
You got any comments?
Again, I do not envy your,
December 11th, that's,
Given that you don't want to go all the way up.
Yeah, I think we'll need Greg's input on where he is with.
Yeah, exactly.
If I can make a comment on that, I think we need to be judicious, but this is a major development for Nesquehoning and Carbon County, and we should not feel rushed. All the other reviews take time. All these other agencies take lots of time. I think we need to take a deep breath and do it correctly, even if it's, beyond, even if it's beyond a short period of time. Let's do it right, folks.
Yeah, I agree with you. This is a very complicated project.
do you think that we can get relief from the township for that 30-day drop dead date they
I could
gave us?
reach to the Archer Township and get a. It's
Especially with
basically up to
holidays
the
coming and
direction
all.
from the way I read it. Yeah, I'll reach out to.
Chances are on the Borough Council meeting on December 17th, in order for them to act, the Borough Planning Commission meeting actually has to act or have a meeting before that and make a recommendation.
Yeah.
For me, the applicant should submit a 90-day time extension today and give you a couple weeks or a couple months, give the borough a couple months. Because if I have to, if I generate a lengthy review letter, that probably has things like, hey, a stormwater management plan needs to be submitted. No way I'm gonna recommend to you or to the borough that any kind of conditional approval be granted with something that major being outstanding. So the likelihood of all that falling into place, me getting a stormwater management report from the applicant's engineer, thoroughly looking at everything, generating a letter by December 9th or 9th, somewhere in that range. The planning commission meeting, having you guys have a special meeting on December 10th or 11th. Having a planning commission meeting the next night, and then having council act on it at their meeting on the 17th.
That's too rushed.
Think about what that motion is gonna be, a conditional approval. All that's really gonna do is stop the clock. Because they're still gonna have to address my outstanding comments. They're gonna have to get an NPDS permit. That's gonna take 6 or 8 months to get.
Well, based on your limited review, are there any outstanding zoning issues that might have to be addressed?
Well, there's a huge zoning issue because this use is not even mentioned in the zoning ordinance at Nesquehoning yet, so.
They need a variance.
By default, they need a special exception, I think, is what's required for uses not permitted. So they have to go and appear before the zoning hearing board.
And that has its own.
So that alone, I wouldn't recommend council or you act on the plan in any way.
And just so that everybody knows, in the Nesquehoning zoning ordinance, I read it today. I've been reading it. According to the way everything's about to go, is once the planning commission had their planning commission, the Nesquehoning planning commission, had 30 days to review it. Once they would submit it, so if it was submitted at the same time as that, their deadline is the 12th too. But then council has an extra 90 days to make a decision. So just saying that their meeting's on the 17th, but doesn't mean council has to do that.
Is that-
Up to them though.
Is that timeline dovetail with the MPC requirements?
Yeah, that's the municipal planning code,
It's
match it all up.
It's quicker than the MPC.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, sure, I could talk to Nesquehoning and find out what their timeline is. And if they would like comment from us earlier than when our next meeting is.
Greg, do you know, is this,
Hold them.
Yeah.
Greg, do you know this Bitcoin mining currently in operation? What are they using for power source? Have they been still cleaning up the calm banks? Or are they using clean anthracite? Do you know what they're using?
I really don't. I don't know what their existing operations
Yeah,
are.
I think they had some permit from DEP on the tire mix with the calm material.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's right, the tire issue, yeah. Just curious.
You know, there's another aspect as far as the water, depending on how much water they're gonna be drawing from the authority, they may have to get permission from the Delaware River Basin Commission.
According to their public meetings, they're using about the water of 10 households per day.
Okay.
Not even close.
Cause they're in this, there's the new system out of loop. They don't release it, and it's a closed loop and. I mean, I went to the
It still has
public
to be
meeting
cool.
Yeah, it
yesterday.
has to be cool.
It has to be cool. You can
They have
just,
chillers.
There's a chiller plant, I believe it's to the left.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
And there's baffles inside the plant for the noise stuff. I mean, I went yesterday, I went to the vicinity. It was impressive, it was impressive, but it seemed like they were community oriented, like they were there for Nesquehoning and Carbon County, like they weren't just. I went to a couple meetings already about them, and this was probably the most organized and most informational meeting. I mean, he did send a copy of the presentation to our office, and if you want, I can share it with everybody. Public knowledge.
And Tim, that's great, and we want to believe that, but what if down the road that isn't the case? If I was
No,
an
I
Esquimalt resident, what kind of guarantees? That sounds wonderful, sounds low to me, but what if that is not the case a year or 2 or 5 years down the road? I think we need to be looking out for, they may say they're looking out for Carbon County and the residents, but
No,
there needs to be some type of guarantees that the story's not going to change down the road and that residents are going to be hurt by this.
I agree with you on that. It's,
I would think it'd be really difficult for them to determine what their cooling load is without knowing how the building is gonna be utilized, how much computing data and what's gonna be in there and how much of it.
It must be part of the design.
is that just for one building that they're talking about? And you had mentioned that there were gonna be 4 on the site?
I believe that's one building.
Yeah, so if they go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, that elevates everything.
Yeah.
It just, I'm sorry, I've been around Carbon County too long and I've seen industry come in that has done damage. And I think we need to be super cautious about everything that's being lined up here.
I think the thing that really bothers me the most is that everything's being predicated on one building and you don't know what the other 3 are gonna be.
All right, Carolyn McGee, do you have anything to offer this board?
No, I apologize. I don't have somebody from CEC on the phone. They are actually in a meeting right now on the NIPD's permit. It was our understanding that this was going to be tabled till next meeting, so we weren't prepared for, all of the questions that have been proposed. But I can assure you that, my client is an open door. If anyone wants to have a meeting with them or further discussion, we can do that. And we'll be prepared to have everybody present for the next meeting. And I can just say this is just one of 3 submissions I think they're going to make as they get their site plans finalized. There's a lot of moving pieces to this, as I'm sure you all understand. So this is just one piece of it.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, so I've been lost in the details here. Did we make them have a motion approved for tabling this?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have any other comments? All right, so Commissioner, do you have anything you want to add?
I was just here to observe. Thank you.
So we'll leave it till next meeting. We'll coordinate on the timelines and schedules so everybody knows what's going on.
Could
Take it on the table.
Yes.
Could I just make a comment that you guys consider having a special meeting just for us to be brought up to speed on this instead of sitting at a regular meeting or whatever meeting and making a decision? I mean, I would like more time to digest once I get a briefing before, you make a comment. This is very complicated and we should be briefed ahead of time and be able to digest some of this or come up with questions at the next regular meeting then. I think we should have a meeting in between, but that's just me.
Well, obviously, I think the planning development office has to be in touch with Greg routinely and see where he is on this.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that then.
Okay. Shall we move on? What's that? So I was told we voted early on in discussion.
You did.
Moving right along.
Thank you, Greg.
Next one is a lot combination down in Heighton. We had this in February. And we also comments and basically changes. The surveyor, and they submitted another plan, the building still needs zoning permit. Because it's within the 25-foot front yard setback. It's an existing residential brush and wood covered land tract. Plan is submitted to not conform to section 196-31 lot line adjustment combinations. Minimum lot size is 4,800 square feet, requirement 0.11 acres. And this area, this proposal conforms to that minimum lot area. The existing building is shown on the plan is located within the 25-foot yard setback requirements for zoning. 218-16 district regulations table scheduled development standards. The zoning variance may be required. Under the subdivision land development ordinance, the surveyor has to complete the plan and 2 copies of the deeds and proposed consolidation deed not provided, and copies of the proposed draft deed should be provided to the Heighton Borough Solicitor Engineer for review and plan approval. The owner affidavit's not signed. And they'll need an press seal of the notary. And all review comments of the Heighton Borough engineer should be addressed, and I would recommend conditional plan approval.
Hey, any questions, comments on this one? If none, is there a motion for conditional plan approval?
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it.
Okay, the next one is a Keystone Assaulting. Broadheadsville, this is for the Christine's Land Development Project. I guess everyone leaving town up at the top of the mountain, that new restaurant. The right hand side, this is that empty lot right across the street from that hotel. Right at State Road 903 and Wargo Road. It's zone C1 highway commercial, it's 1.23 acres. They want to construct a 53,579 square foot commercial flooring, retail and service facility with paved access drives and parking areas, on-lot water and sewer systems or associated stormwater management controls. And soil erosion and control measures are also proposed. It's the existing vacant brush tract, like the moderate sloping distance road. On-site investigation of the tract revealed no visible barriers toward development. Again, the plan does not conform to preliminary final plan requirements in Penn Florida Township subdivision land development ordinance and requirements in Penn Florida zoning. Under C1 highway commercial district, 2 acres is the minimum lot size area. This is only 1.23 acres. And it does not conform to the minimum lot size requirements of zoning section 240 attachment 2. The applicant developer is proposing 7 parking spaces, which includes 1 ADA handicap space. And it appears on the plan that there's no employee parking spaces provided. Each new lot shall include both a primary and a reserve septic system location. Both locations shall be determined by the Township Storage Enforcement Officer to meet Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection regulations. And on the plan, they're using a tank and there's no secondary systems shown at all on that tract. And I, just from viewing it, I took notice that the whole site has been disturbed, so it's kind of hard to get a secondary on-lot system in an area where you can't disturb them. They should have taped off an area where it would have been instead of just going through the whole lot. Every plan for subdivision or land development, every application for a building permit for a new principal building that will be served by a well and or septic system shall designate the proposed well and primary and alternate septic system location. And such plans shall show the proposed locations
and will meet the minimum isolation distance established by DEP. The plan as submitted requires review, approval of a preliminary plan before submission of a final plan. And the applicant has submitted a land development plan as a combined preliminary final development plan. And the applicant is requesting a waiver from the solid requirement, and I believe we would have no issue with that request. As far as the plan review, surveyor certification attesting to the accuracy of the survey must be signed in a cover sheet. Ownership and acknowledgement of plan statement provided not completed. Proposed location of secondary alternate sewage disposal field not shown. Signature block authorizing the Penn Forest staff and consultants to enter upon and inspect the site for the purpose of conducting a review and determining consistency with the requirements of the Penn Forest Saldo during pendency of the application before the Penn Forest Township not executed. They're gonna need 2 copies of the sewage facility planning module. BMP operations and maintenance plan is required in section 210-23D. Describing how each permanent stormwater BMP will be operated, maintained, and the identity of the person responsible for the operation and maintenance. And the statement must be included, signed by the landowners, acknowledging that the stormwater BMPs are fixtures that cannot be altered or removed without approval by the township. And in addition, the plan note pursuant to 210-23A regarding stormwater discharges on the property is depicted on page 410 should be revised to 413. And the affected property owner should be on the statement and signed and dated. They're proposing stormwater discharges on the adjoining property of the wetland. Nature Conservancy. And they're gonna have to sign off on this plan to allow stormwater drainage to be brought up on their property. They're gonna need a soil erosion control plan deemed adequate by the Carbon County Conservation District. And a copy of the adequacy letter and a final approved plan and narrative should be provided. They're gonna need a performance guarantee in the amount of 110% of the cost of all required improvements and maintenance guarantee in the amount of not less than 15% of the actual cost of the installation of the improvements and shall be executed between the applicant and the Penn Forest Township. Lighting plan is shown the plan. They're showing lighting standards not provided. Detailed location for the proposed parking area and lighting located in the proposed building should be shown with their specifications. And all requests for waivers of modification shall be in writing. The certification of accuracy plan and design engineer statement not signed, sealed on the cover sheet. Statement of intent on the cover sheet should be revised to show the correct intent of this land development project. What they have here. The statement of intent. The intent of this land development plan is to construct a self-storage facility that will include an office building, 156 self-storage units, 32 storage parking space, standard parking area, on-lot septic and well. So this is for the GETS. Land development plan is still in, I think it's 2 years out, still waiting approval. Access to the buildings, flooring, retail areas, the storage area should be shown on the plan, including unloading and loading and unloading areas. ADA parking space should also be shown on the plan. Again, reasonable signatures. And my recommendation being the Carbon County Planning Commission reviewing the above land development believes we found several areas of non-compliance with the requirements of the Penn Forest Township land development ordinances that precludes any recommendation for approval of this land development this time. And we are providing the review comments of Penn Forest Township Planning Commission, the Penn Forest Township Supervisors, applicant and Keystone Consulting Engineers, the surveyor engineer responsible for this project, with the provision that the above noted comments be addressed and or adequately mitigated before plan approval.
Questions from anybody? So do we need a vote that we reviewed this?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a motion stating that we have reviewed the plan as presented?
I'll make it.
So move.
I'll second.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
All right, the next one is out at the old Camp Adams. I had Forest Township. I don't know if anybody was out there when we had the use.
I was.
I went to the Forest. Let's see. Basically, what they're doing is there's an existing Pocono camping campground out there. Their improvements include the construction of a 5,400 square foot pool up there. There's gonna be a bathhouse with it and two different bathhouses and an RV parking area. I think it's 21 by 60 foot, 21 spaces, 25 by 60 foot parking spaces. And associated stormwater management controls and a soil erosion control measures. There's no visible barriers toward development. Plan is submitted, again, does not conform to the preliminary final plan requirements of Penn Forest Township land development ordinances. However, the plan that's submitted conforms to the zoning ordinance. Let's see here. Again, preliminary final plan, it has to come in as a preliminary first. They're requesting they should request a waiver from the SALDA requirements. And again, the surveyor certification not signed. The north, east, west, and northeast monumentation not shown on the plan. I have it in here. Ownership ownification statement not signed. Signature block again authorizes staff to consult and enter upon inspected site not completed. As shown in the plan sheet 3 of 4 improvements, two lights are proposed at either end of the proposed RV parking area. And they never submitted a proposed lighting plan in accordance with SALDO section 1026D. And the lighting standards are required. Details for proposed lighting should also be shown in plan sheet 8 of 14 construction details. They're gonna need a national pollutant discharge elimination permit from PADEP because the total earth disturbance is over 1 acre. And as part of the permit process, an erosion sedimentation control plan deemed adequate by the Carbon County Conservation District will be required. And again, the BMP operations and maintenance plan, who's gonna maintain these stormwater drainage basins and stormwater activity. And I would, since it's so small with the land development, I would recommend conditional plan approval.
Ivan, does the plan show how many campsites there's gonna be?
They're existing. I can count them. It was for the Camp Adams site. They're not proposing any cabins. Let's see, there's 4, 8, 12, let's see, 15, 17, 19, big cabin 20, 23, 26, 30, and they have a existing pavilion, existing snack building. They have a rec center, social area. The only thing they're doing is putting these bathhouses in the pool.
Okay, thanks.
That's it.
Any other questions on this? If not, is there a motion for conditional plan approval?
I'll make the motion.
Second. Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Good.
All right.
The NPDS chapter 102 permit for the Palmerton Tractor Supply. It has to be sent, need a technical review letter, and I filled the form out. Is there adopted county or multi-county comprehensive plan? Yes. And consistent with the plan? Yes. Is there a DEP approved Act 167 stormwater management plan for this area? No. And I just sent it to the engineer who has to put this in with their permit or process to DEP. Okay.
The only thing I had was a letter to Jim Thorpe Borough for the Memorial Park Phase 3, the support letter because they're requesting funds from the RSA statewide grant program.
Okay. Everybody received a separate sheet with proposed meeting dates. We should have a vote on
We
that. to
received
accept.
motion to confirm.
Okay, is there a motion to confirm the meeting dates for 2026? As
I'll
provided?
second that.
Okay, properly moved and seconded. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Regarding reappointments, that's really not up to us, is it?
Nope, just a announcement, that's all.
Unless somebody doesn't want to be reappointed. I mean,
No, already confirmed.
Okay, correspondence, I think David addressed that. Visitors. Commissioner, do you have anything for the?
just thank you for your time.
Okay. Visitors, media is represented. Is there a motion for adjournment?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, properly moved in second. All those in favor, give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.